Um, this is this is sort of a short subject on what it means to be awoke, okay, or what they call the woke community awakening, and I know that I've probably covered different parts of what that means in different videos that I put up here, but naturally, it's sort of like things come to me at the exact moment in which they do come to me, and your intuition, which means I'm supposed to listen to this, to the information. And then when I listen to the information, okay, I'll know whether or not that information is true or not. Okay, so how do I know when I listen to somebody else whether it's true or not? My heart. I live through my heart and soul. So, for example, I just watched a short video, which is what prompted me to do this, which was David Icke. I figure a lot of people know who David Icke is. And the video that I just watched was where he was being interviewed about how he became awakened. And if you've ever watched a lot of his videos, you begin to realize that he has an enormous amount of knowledge about things that other people don't know. That's what we talk about, knowledge. So there's a difference between learning knowledge through the light, which is what love is, and learning knowledge through the dark, which is what evil is. Or the way that I measure it in energy, celestial energy mechanics, if you will, is frequency, which is the signal of the communication. So, for example, even when people who represent the DOJ, for instance, come up on a stand, and I'm listening to them on this cell phone, I know their energy identity. So I know who they are. They're liars. They're demons. They don't live in the truth. They don't live through their heart. They don't live through their soul. Okay? They're liars. Okay? So what happens is when your state of consciousness is choosing to give consent to interface with something that is less in frequency than what you are, then you are matched in waveform vibration consciousness to the same density that they are that you're now matched with. That's how they keep you in lower density consciousness. It's because perception, the perception of the vibration that you believe what it is that they're telling you, because that's the reality that you believe that you're giving consent to experience, is what they are and what you are not. If you can't filter the difference between who they are and who you are, then the perception through which you're experiencing the reality that you are is matched with them, which means your state of consciousness is held captive to a lower density consciousness that is represented by a demon. Okay? So when David Icke was experiencing his awakening, he realized that it was being given knowledge by beings who live in the light of what love is. And the knowledge that he was given, he realized that he was a messenger. He was being allowed to present information. And what did that information do? He became a magnet, didn't he? He was now living through the light, because the light in which all that information is where all that information is being held, is within that light, which is higher knowledge. He's learning what's called putting the puzzle together between how consciousness is held captive, okay, by other dimensional beings, in this case, lower dimensional beings, okay, that want to feed on higher states of consciousness. Because they realize, for example, with Homo sentient sapiens, we have an enormous amount of energy. Emotions, energy in motion, is powerful energy to experience. Because the waves, the electromagnetic waves, vibrate at a very high rate of speed. So when you're experiencing love at 500 million hertz per second, that's called a high-speed wave. Man, does that energy feel good, because it's running hot. That's why the auric energy field of the colors is emitted in blue, like a blue sky, or indigo, right? So that's what happened, for example, as I mentioned in a previous video, when I went over to the living magma, okay, one night and got as close as I possibly could, being aware of the direction of the wind so I don't end up sucking down sulfur dioxide, right? But I wanted to feel the most powerful energy. And sure enough, I absorbed it. And I held on to it. And then I moved myself from that living magma area over to the other side, or more to the east side of the island, and then just began broadcasting it. And then took a picture of it. And it was purple. It was indigo. That's a lot of high-frequency energy is now being scalar broadcasted out to the grid. That's right, baby. Push all that love. Push all that light. Restore all the light. Heal the planet. Okay? And what happens is that is how you clear, if you will, the programming. From lower density consciousness information that we put into our unconscious memory, it causes us to do things without being aware of it. They'd end up doing what? Draining the light in others, doing the things that don't serve us, because we're not aware of the things that don't serve us, because we're stuck in the lower vibrational density consciousness of believing in the things that we do. Okay? Which, I mentioned this in a previous video. For example, I can walk into any corporate big box store, particularly a supermarket, and point out on every shelf everything that is toxic we put into our bodies. It comes from these corporations. It doesn't come from analog, okay? It comes from artificial intelligence. The girl and the planet, all the living energies in the planet, okay? When you're in communication with all your cells, and you're in communication in spirit with the girl on the planet and all the living energy in the planet, then all your cells will communicate to you what it is that you need to put in your body. And you'll know exactly where to get it. Okay? That means that your state of consciousness is with the consciousness of the girl on the planet and everything that is in living energy, which includes trees, plants, everything is communicating energy. It's aware of itself. You're aware of it. So the more sensitive you are to all the living energies in the planet and the living spirit in the planet, that allows the purity of your consciousness, the purity of your spirit, the purity of your energy to be experienced with all the purity of the water, the purity of the soil, the purity of the air. And that allows humanity to evolve to live in purity with the purity of the living spirit that is in the planet that is managing the physics. I know what it's like to experience that. That's why I'm always in a steady state of trying to maintain the purity of my energy and maintain the purity of my spirit with her and all the living energies on the planet. So that's why, as I mentioned earlier about when I was a child, when I received signals of communication, and I still get them. I'm under demonic attack all the time because all these beings around here that are wearing the mask on were summoning demons. Okay? So there's a lot of demons. Yeah, I experience them every day. But I'm also experiencing the light that's going up because that's my spirit. Okay? My soul, spirit, essence is picking up and I'm aware of all the light. Okay? Just like I communicate to the girl up there at that sun. I can feel her communicate to me. Okay? Believe it or not. And it's beautiful when you're a part of the whole cosmos that way. You're communicating to everything that is self-aware, of everything else that is self-aware in the entire cosmos, that we have a communication relationship with, which is everything that is living. That's why the mask order represents no electrons, no oxygen molecules. Put a mask on. Aloha means the essence of the breath of life, which is life force. I don't want the life force energy. Oh, but you got to obey. You're obeying a satanic ritual to acknowledge the dead, that you are among the dead, instead of among the living spirit that we are. So what you're saying is, in participating in a satanic ritual, is that you acknowledge the dead, and you are among the dead, and that will summon the demons. Okay? That's how it works. Now, if you are in the light, and your spirit is in the light, and your soul is the compass bearing that knows these things, and you know these things. Okay? So, I thought with David Icke, he was able to be a powerful magnet, because look at how all the audiences that he's able to pull into an auditorium to raise their state of knowledge of how the consciousness of every unit of consciousness on this planet has been held to liars, thieves, okay, murderers, okay, and beings that kidnap our children. Most people have no idea, okay, how many millions of children are kidnapped every year on this planet and put them in cages. And one of the things that they do to them is to bring them to the point of terror, of death, that they know that's going to come to them. And then they drain their body of all that blood. And they sell it as adrenochrome. Okay? Matter of fact, this isn't a coincidence either. When I get things that pop up and scroll up, it's like my future selves. It's like the projection, the holographic projection in the mirror that I haven't experienced yet, has actually already navigated and experienced it, but I want to experience it right now in order to know it in the future, which is really the present now time moment, which means there is no time. And that was a Johnny Carson show. This was back when Michael Landon, if you remember who Michael Landon was an actor famous for being, oh, such a lovable character on The Little House on the Prairie, right? They're inverted. They masquerade what to us we believe is, oh, they're good guys, oh, how warm and fuzzy, when behind that mask they're demons. That's how they get people to believe in what the truth, which is actually a lie. And that's called inverted, which is going in the opposite direction, which is losing light, not gaining light. So people are not gaining knowledge through their light. They're vibrating in perception with what is dark and evil. So they're choosing to have a relationship with and be controlled by demons. So they can harvest your energy because they're dead. Okay? That's why they're energy harvesters. That's why they use technology. Okay? Instead of being connected with the living spirit and living energies in the earth, get your mind to be addicted to the technology, and now you're insensitive to the living energies in the planet. That's basic logic. You're choosing your course. So I thought to myself, when they do these rituals, okay, why do you think they do them? Ignorance. Lack of knowledge. And lack of knowledge is what? Lack of light, which is lack of speed, which is lower vibration. And children were programmed because of the information that's put in the unconscious memory to obey an authority figure, where in the cosmos you have universal free will. So one of the things I noticed in his video where he talked about, it was the challenges and all of his experiences of what he had to go through that became his teacher, which is a perfect reflection of everything I put up here on my videos. Experiences is our teacher. So I remember he was talking about his story of because he suffered from rheumatoid arthritis and he wanted to be a football player, and he kept getting knocked off his horse. He kept wanting to get back on that horse. That's his spirit. That's the power of his spirit, not to quit. Because he realizes through these experiences he becomes stronger in spirit, and in raising his energy to experience more of what he is and what he's learning as he goes living in the light. And look where he is now. If you go back and look on his journey from when he started out and where he's at now, look how much knowledge he's gained. And that's what he was sharing in that interview. Is the enormous amount of knowledge that he gained that he realized was the truth, which is what love is. Because love doesn't live in fear of telling anyone the truth. That means when you are what love is in living spirit, you are experiencing the truth of who you are. And you're not afraid to express that in front of anybody. That's the power of your spirit that is living in that light, vibrating at that speed. And when other people see the speed at which you're vibrating with a smile on your face and how much energy you have, that's a powerful magnet. That means you're attracting more light everywhere you go. And you are learning more as you go. Now you begin to learn through more powerful spirits, like the spirit of the light that is in this planet. The spirit of the Merkaba up there. Now you're off and running as a Star Trek navigator. The rest of the cosmos is there for you to live in love and joy and experience everything there is to do out there. And when we are what that is in energy and spirit, then other ET communities will welcome us at their table. Now we can enjoy the technology and all the benefits of what it means to truly thrive and advance by the relationships we have with other powerful and highly intelligent and advanced beings in the cosmos. That's why this is a classroom. So anyway, I'm done. I'm going to charge this phone up and be done for the day. I hope that, I know that the light is going. That means that the amount of knowledge that's being put through the morphogenetic field structure is rising. Okay? So, we're right where we're supposed to be. It's going to increase and increase and increase and increase and increase and increase over time. It's over for them and they know it. But they only know one way to operate. You know, remember, it's like an Energizer bunny going in the opposite direction because it's inverted. It doesn't know how to be what love is in living spirit and produce an enormous amount of light that it's sharing with others. That's the genetic liability that they had as reptilians because they're fear-based. Anyway, have a great day. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. Roosevelt got that exactly right. Have a great day. Bye now.